Hello and welcome back. Michael Proper with ClearCenter. We also have Steve Wilson, President of Trizon, who's actually a customer of one of our regional partners. Today we've been talking about a lot of different topics, and to be honest with you, they're all positive. I think it's brutally important to ask the hard questions around what's the negatives. And so I think I really trust Steve, and so I think it's important. Hopefully you'll be able to get the same trust out of it that, when I ask the question, what are the negatives of moving to ClearOS from where you're already with Cisco and Microsoft? What's been the brutal realities of whether it's deployment or usability or costs or anything? What's the negatives?
Yeah, I would have to. My thoughts are going back when we first were presented with the solution. Should we go with the Microsoft solution or should we go with the ClearOS solution? And the negative at that time was just the unknown. We hadn't heard of ClearOS, and we didn't have any neighbors or people in our network that we'd go and talk with and say, hey, what's your experience? How was the implementation? So that was probably our biggest hang up with really, committing as quickly as we wanted to. And so it was through that process that we were able to, do some testing in a test environment. That eventually we learned more, and the more we learned, we almost kind of kept looking at each other. My partners and I, as really are these claims are being backed up with things that we're seeing, and I think through that process we learned that there's deployments all over the world, and some of the clients and customers at ClearCenter and ClearOS that were using it were enterprise level companies. There's governments running their government on ClearOS. There's universities, prestigious universities, and so that was pretty much easy for us to check the box that, okay, while we haven't heard of it, it's well integrated globally, and so it was a shift for us that no longer was that an issue, but yet early it was a little bit of a negative. To this point, I can't really, in all honesty, find a negative that I think would garner much airtime with our discussion here, just because it's been a really good experience. The team, we've never really had to talk to ClearOS. It's always been through our regional contact that's affiliated with ClearOS. But our team that we rely on is either well supported by ClearOS or really knows their stuff, and so they don't need a lot of maintenance and coaching and going to conferences to stay abreast of the new developments and changes that for us impact just again our productivity and our uptime. And so I can't say that I'm one that could find too much negative, and certainly obviously a big cheerleader and a big fan of our system and our solution.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day or your busy work week. It was the beginning of the week, and just sharing your perspective and being that cheerleader. We're grateful for folks that are early on and willing to take that commitment and that leap of faith on something that may not have heard of or may not be aware of, and we're just grateful to have you here, Steve. So once again, Steve Wilson, President of Trizon, rapidly growing company, went from 1 location to 4 locations in 3 different states, from about 25 employees to 350 over those 4-year period. We're grateful to call him a customer. We're grateful for your time.